Well, hello and welcome to another Midweek Memo. This last Sunday, if you were with us, you would have been drawn into this amazing occasion where Jesus came, they gathered with the crowds in Capernaum, and four men brought to him a paralyzed man, and he healed him to demonstrate not only his power of healing, but actually his authority to forgive sins. Now, I don't know how you read the Bible. It probably slightly depends on your personality. But if you're of a particular type and you kind of can't help but see these things through the COVID-safe lens, I wonder if the whole account gave you the slight jitters. Remember, Jesus had got incredibly famous. People were thronging together from all over the place to see him. And so we get to the beginning of chapter 2, and it says this: "So many gathered that there was no room left, not even outside the door, and he preached the word to them." These people were absolutely pressed together like sardines. No social distancing going on here at all. And in fact, the fact that these four guys had to take the roof off in order to get the guy to Jesus suggests really that there was not even the slightest little aisle through to get to him. So why did they insist? Well, these four friends of the paralyzed man knew that what this man needed most of all, in fact, what we all need most of all, is to get to Jesus. Well, it's 2,000 years later, and our needs are exactly the same. But as we zoom out, you can see that overcrowding is not exactly the problem that we've got in this building right now. In fact, thanks to the amazing hard work of many people this weekend, we've managed to clear out the pews from the main section of the nave. And the purpose of this is, as we discussed before, to ensure that we can safely and flexibly use this space in a way that has the right capacity of people and that we can get people connecting together in this physical place, the church building. But I guess some of us might be wondering, well, is that important? I mean, in Jesus' day, these guys had to get their friend to Jesus personally, right in front of him. Do we have to be in this building to meet Jesus? No, we don't. Jesus encouraged the Samaritan woman, do you remember, that the true worshipers worship in spirit and truth. We don't have to be in this building to be able to connect with Jesus. But actually, as human beings with bodies, we do have to usually, particularly in the winter times, be in buildings to connect with one another. And being together, being connected as individuals and part of the body of Christ is really important. So we've made these significant steps, this reorganization of the building, to make it possible for us to safely be able to be together. Because the scriptures also encourage us not to give up meeting with one another as we see the day approaching. And I really am hoping and praying that over this difficult winter period, our meetings together, even though at a distance, and certainly done safely, will still be a great encouragement for us from week to week. So on a couple of midweek memos already, we've had a special guest join us. Today, we've got a very special guest. And here's a little clip I recorded earlier. So I said we'd have a special guest on the Midweek Memo. We do, a very special guest, particularly very special to me. This is Emily, my wife, whom some of you have met, but many of you haven't. As we recently discovered, we went down to church after Sunday service, and we realized from quite a few people that although we feel we've met some people, many people still haven't even clapped eyes on Emily. They were even questioning whether she exists. She does. Here she is.
Oh, I'm really delighted just to have the chance to say hello personally, just to introduce myself. So many of you who I have not had the chance to meet in any way. So grateful for the many who've been really welcoming, and I have been fortunate enough to meet already. But we thought, just by slight way of introduction and for you to understand a little bit about what our weekly lives were like, we would perhaps share with you 5 places that we've become particularly acquainted with in recent weeks.
Okay, so 5 Croydon landmarks for the Adamses. Okay, so number 1, Box Park.
Yeah, I think this was the first place you brought me to, wasn't it? Yeah, and instantly gave me a really nice coffee. And that was it. I was sold.
Very discerning, I'd like to point out. That's great catch. But Box Park it's not just a kind of coffee place for you. You hang out, well, I suppose it is kind of a coffee place. You hang out around that area every now and again these days because...
Well, that sounds a bit dodgy. I wouldn't say I hang out around Box Park as such, but I have found a way to keep going back to Box Park and picking up a nice coffee on my way through, which is through work, really. So I'm a medic, trained as a GP, quite recently qualified, and at the moment actually doing a job back where we used to live near Wimbledon, working in a children's clinic, and something I'm quite passionate about actually, in terms of actually seeing and evaluating children whilst we go through this challenge of the COVID pandemic.
Okay. Number 2 is West Hill, halfway up West Hill.
Some of you are aware, I think, that the children have been given places at Ridgeway School. So Marina, who's in year 4, Robin in year 3, Barney in year 1, all have places there, which is fantastic. And yeah, I'm sure lots of you can relate to the concept of the school run, and when that involves the West Hill. It's a great hill.
It's a great hill.
I think the children they've got fitter actually, in the last few weeks.
They've got fitter.
But we're still not really managing to arrive at school on time. So we're working on it.
Okay, number 3. Well, we had a bit of a discussion about number 3. It was going to be something on the Pearly Way or thereabouts. We had competitors were IKEA, Dunelm, TK Home Sense. None of them won out, but instead it was
the Skip.
The Skip.
Little Imogen, who's 2, turned around to me on the way back from school today and said, "We're going to the Skip today." At which point I thought, oh, this needs to change. But I think that has been obviously a large part of our life in this season. But also I think gives a slight little window maybe into my personality as someone who quite
like to get it done. You like to get it done. Clear it out, get it in the Skip.
Whereas you like to leave it in the shed.
I like to leave it in the shed,
yeah.
Okay, and we want to say also the Skip, we want to point out that we're really grateful to all the people who came this morning and helped us clear out the garden and took loads of stuff to the Skip. So it's our little bit of an excuse to really say thank you for all the people who are helping us move in.
Yeah.
Number 4 is just behind me. It is Crowhamhurst.
Yeah, I think these woods, we've already got some quite significant family institutions going on with Crowhamhurst Woods. How long did it take you to run up the other day?
Well, so the boys' target now is 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
I myself also quite enjoy a run, probably round the bottom of the wood rather than up to the top of the woods. But we've also really enjoyed some accidental fellowship in the woods and seem to particularly be there, on a Sunday. And of course, unfortunately, we can't intentionally meet up, being already a family of 6, but we've loved those chance encounters.
Okay, and the last one, number 5, it should have been a shoo-in, it should have been really obvious, but actually in the strange times that we live, kind of not necessarily so, was church.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, normally we'd have been down there every week and it would have been very much already a huge part of our week, physically going to church. And of course, we've been so thankful and grateful for the amazing online provision, and the kids absolutely love the Rock and their incredible craft packages. But it is strange times, and certainly for me, probably by personality as much as anything, I do find online church a bit of a struggle.
You love to sit on a sofa inside without loads of people around and just kind of on your own. Yeah. No, she needs to get out on Sunday morning, Emma.
So that has certainly been a challenge for me personally in lockdown, and thinking of the various sermons we've had in recent weeks, I think I certainly related to the 4 friends who literally sort of teared off the tiles of the church just to physically get in and see Jesus and be near him, and that really is what church offers, that opportunity to get together through fellowship, to draw close to God, and to hear more of him through his word and the preaching and the praise. And I miss that hugely. But I would also say that from what I've seen of the church so far, just what a blessing that is, and how I think if I was moving to the area, which I probably would now that I've seen all these incredible places, I would definitely be picking Emmanuel to come and join. And fundamentally, yes, I suppose I do have the label of a vicar's wife, and I hope not to disappoint in that role. But first and foremost, I think I see myself as a member of your church, and I look forward to sharing fellowship with you through that. So.
Thanks. So those are our 5 landmarks. Why don't you put down in the comments what your 5 landmarks are, perhaps? We'd love to hear from you. And we're really looking forward to a time when we don't have to communicate over YouTube with everyone. But we do hope that this has been one of the ways that we can just be a little bit more connected in these times. Just 2 notices for the end of the memo today. Number 1, don't forget that the Rock TV is going live this Sunday. So there's going to be a live presented version of the kind of stuff that we've been doing with craft and teaching and songs. But the big difference is it's going to happen at the same time or starting just after the beginning of the normal morning service. So the idea is we have 15 minutes or so all together on the standard YouTube live stream, and then after those 15 minutes of sort of all-age worship, we're going to break down. The adults will continue in the main service, and the kids will go out to Rock TV Live. You'll know about that. You'll have emails in your inboxes and so forth to help you get onto that. But we're really looking forward to that, and do be praying for that it makes a good start and enables us as a family and the whole church family to worship together. That's the one thing. And then the second thing to remember, which is related, is that all of that is going to happen at 1 hour removed because the clocks go back this weekend. Don't forget that. I mean, even if you do, it's not the end of the world. But do make the most of that extra hour in bed, or if you have small children, that extra 60 minutes of no man's land wondering what on earth you should be doing with yourself while everyone else chills out. Anyway, well, however you get to it, we look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning with the clocks having gone an hour back.